Hey guys, this is Anthony Esparza, and I am welcoming you back to the Shorter Realtor. Today, I want to talk about goals and why having goals are important. For me, I have a completely different set of goals than you guys probably do. But goals are important because everybody wants something, whether it's a nice car, whether it's their college degree, whether they want to live somewhere else. Goals can be anything, and they are various, and they are um, a very wide field, right? They could be anything. Maybe you want a new book, a new phone. Maybe you want to take a trip in a month, but goals can be anything. Goals are important because that's how you are going to progress, and that's how you're going to stay on track, and that's how you're going to reach those goals ultimately. And for me, with my experience, one of my goals when I was 19 was to get my real estate license. That was my first goal, and that was a part of a series of goals. So I had get my real estate license in a month and a half, and then it was sell my first house in a month, and then I had how much I wanted to make my first year as a real estate agent. However, the third goal was not as important to me as the first two. The first two most important were getting my real estate license and selling my first house. I had to get the ball rolling, and I wanted to do it quick so I could start making some money. And it took me a month to get my real estate license. So I accomplished that goal, and I did it in a month instead of a month and a half. My second goal was to sell my first house, which I did about 2 months to the day it closed. I did get the house under contract almost exactly a month after I got my real estate license. So I did not completely sell it, but in a way I did kind of get that goal. I didn't really know the process of how everything worked before I had my license, but I was fairly close to my second goal. And my third goal, I was more than halfway there. So it was a good start to my first year. I was very happy. I was very satisfied with how far I came on all my goals. And I'm just coming up on a year mark now, and I have a completely new set of goals that I'm going to go after and chase. And I wanted to make this podcast and video for you guys because you guys have goals. You guys have ambitions. You guys have dreams. You guys all have something you want to accomplish. And I just want to share with you some of the things I know you guys are going to go through when trying to accomplish those goals. And some of those things are self-doubt. And some of those things are going to be feeling discouraged, and you're going to feel like you want to quit, and you want to feel like you're not getting anywhere. And you're just going to want to give up. And I wanted to tell you guys, just hang in there and keep working towards that goal. Those days you wake up and you don't want to work towards your goal are the days you're voting for yourself to not achieve that goal. Those days that you wake up and you don't want to work towards that goal, but you do it anyways, you're casting another vote on yourself to achieve that goal. And, it takes time. Sometimes a goal isn't going to happen when you want it to happen. But as long as you keep after it, you will always, always accomplish it. I did not reach my third goal that I had for my first year as a real estate agent, which is fine. And I set my goal extremely higher than I knew I was possibly going to get. But because of that, I ended up doing more than I probably would have if I would have set my goal a little bit lower. And if you set your goals higher, for example, if you want to make $1 million, set a goal for $2 million and see where that gets you, right? You might get 1.5 million. You're going to have those days where you feel like you're getting your goal, and you're going to feel high and you're going to feel up. And those are the days you're making the greatest amount of progress. Those are the days you have to keep building off of, and you have to hold that energy because it's not going to be there every single day, right? Your timeline, if your goal's here and you're starting here, your timeline to get that goal is going to look like this. Like a complete roller coaster. You're going to go up, you're going to go down, You're going to go off track. You're going to have unexpected things happen, right, on your path to accomplish your goal. And you're going to have to figure those things out for yourself. You're going to have to figure out, how am I going to get around this? How am I going to work through this so I can still get to my goals? And if there's a will, there's a way. So if you've ever seen a plant grow through concrete, then that's the exact example I'm trying to give. Is if you have a will and determination, you'll be able to do it. Life always has a way, and it always does find a way. And it's kind of an example I use a lot to give to my friends and my family. Is, there's a little crack in concrete, and somehow a weed or a plant finds its way through and gets all the way out to the top, and then continues growing towards the sun, right? So that's the same mindset you gotta have. You gotta have perseverance. You gotta know, no matter how hard it's gonna be, that you can get there and accomplish those goals. And for me, it's been working, and it's a timely process. A lot of people think they're gonna have overnight success with their goals, and that's simply not true. I mean, in some rare cases, you do see overnight success. Perhaps winning the lottery, or I don't know, maybe you hit big on the stock market, or you start a business and it blows up overnight. But that's very, very, it's very rare, because if you look at how many businesses are made every day, made every year, and then you look at how many of those see the light of day or see success in their first year or in their first month or in their first week, and you throw it into a percentage, it's going to be very low. It's probably, I don't know, I'm guessing it's probably around 5% or less, most likely less than 5%. So do not have the mindset that you're going to be successful overnight, or you're going to disappoint yourself and burn yourself out and potentially quit. You can still hang in there, and it's a good mindset to, I'm not saying it's a bad mindset to have overnight success, but it's not necessarily a good one. You got to be committed for the long term, and you got to be committed to the journey and the experience of what it's going to take to get you to your goal. If you can learn, and this is something I am continuously working on, but if you can learn to fall in love with the process and fall in love with those day-to-day little things you have to do that are going to be fun at first and they're going to get old after a couple months of doing them. If you can fall in love with doing the day-to-day things, even when you don't see progress, you're going to achieve any goal you set your mind to. Because when you finally achieve your goal, right, like if you buy a new car you've been saving up for, you're going to look back and you're going to appreciate all the times you worked overtime, right? You're going to appreciate working 50 hours a week instead of 40 hours a week, because that gave you more money to go towards your car. And it's really the journey that is the greatest experience of reaching your goals. You need to love what you do every day. Even if you don't, you have to learn how to love it. Because if you love it, it's just going to make everything a little bit easier. It's going to be a little bit easier to wake up every morning and work towards that so you can achieve your goals. Some goals do take some reasonable time to accomplish. Some of my very long-term goals, I know I won't even see 3 to 10 years from now. And 3 to 10 years is a 7-year difference, but it really does depend on what I do today to get to those goals. If I start working on my long-term goals right now and today, and I don't put them off for the next year or two, then I am going to see the results and reap the benefits 3 to 5 years from now, right? And another goal I had, and this is when I first got my real estate license, was I wanted to do YouTube and podcasts, and here I am doing it. But guess how long it took me? It took me 10 months. It took me 10 months to start doing YouTube and podcast stuff. And I even went and bought a camera like 7 months in my first year of being a real estate agent, but it just sat there. I didn't do anything with it. I never recorded anything. It just kind of sat there, and I kind of felt like I wasted my money on a camera. And then finally I did it. And, now I'm continuously doing it and I'm making a good habit out of it, trying to do, one video and one podcast a week. And the interesting thing about that is it's something I really, really, really wanted to do, but I didn't have a timeline on it. I didn't have a day like, okay, by this day I have to have my first YouTube video out, published, posted, everything. I didn't have any of that, but what I did have is a reminder, and it was on my board for my goals board. It's actually like a little whiteboard that I hang up and I write my goals on with a marker. And I would always look at it every day. And now I finally got it, right? I finally accomplished that goal. And it's kind of a cool personal experience that I wanted to share that has to do with goals. If you want to go badly enough and you keep your eyes on it, it will happen, but it may not happen overnight. And that goes with everything in life. If you've ever wanted something, really bad, you've probably most likely have gotten it. But it's probably taken some time. It probably didn't come overnight. So when it comes to goals, be patient. Unlike for me, I'm very impatient. And so I get really anxious when I'm trying to accomplish my goals. So be patient, be proactive, take initiative, and do the things you have to do to get to your goals. If it's easier, take the end of your goal, meaning whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, and make kind of a chart going backwards and trace the exact map of where you need to go, what path you need to take to end up there. And it's a lot easier sometimes to do it backwards than it is to do it forwards, just because if you're thinking with the end in mind, you can just kind of trace it all down to where you are now. I totally forgot what I was talking about. I kind of veered off topic. But keep at your goals. Do them every day. The days you don't want to do them, you have to make sure you do those things, especially on the days you don't want to do them. And fall in love with the process, you guys. If you can fall in love with the nitty-gritty stuff, then accomplishing your goals is going to be 10 times easier. I can promise you. And that is all I actually have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed today's video and podcast. And like always, good people deserve good things. I will catch you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in.